welcome to another episode of High Topics. I'm your host, Kellz Hawk, aka the Cannabis Connector. I connect the people to the cannabis and the cannabis to the people. So today we got a really special guest, brother by the name of Shodel. He's the buyer's manager, sales manager for Grizzly Peak, and he's going to talk about the fitness and fueling fitness with cannabis. So, I mean, a lot of people don't know, some people do work out when they smoke or smoke when they work out. A lot of people say like, no, I'm not into that. So we got this brother right here is gotta get into the ups and downs, pros and cons, teach the people about smoking, or not even just smoking, because you don't have to smoke, but just medicating while you're working out, health issues.
All right. So,
before I get into that, my bad.
Yeah.
Before I get into that, just tell them how you got into the industry, Grizzly Peak. Just talk about yourself first before we get into the product.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. Super important. Really respect guys like you doing such a big job in the cannabis industry, not only for yourself, but
Thank
for
you. I appreciate that, man.
Of course,
appreciate
man.
That.
Especially for all people, that look like me, look like you.
Right.
It's a really good job. And then, me getting into the industry, how I got into the industry was because of Corona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A lot of people have different views of Corona. Everyone that's going through the pandemic, everyone that's gone through the pandemic and experienced good, bad, or, nothing's changed. I pay my respect to everybody. But for me, the pandemic was an opportunity for me to slow down and figure out my passion and, really reset myself. And, I love smoking.
Yeah.
I love weed. And, prior to this, I was in the marketing industry with telecommunications company and retail stores.
Okay,
and,
nice.
After Corona or during Corona, things slowed down. And, I saw an opportunity to, really switch careers. Mm-hmm. And I decided to explore cannabis. And, I got hired by Grizzly Peak about 3 months ago, back in December, and it's been amazing ever since getting into the industry.
Okay, nice. I hear an accent, brother. Where you from?
Born and raised in Jamaica. Moved here in 2010. I moved to New Jersey. I did a little bit of Ohio.
Jersey, I'm from Philly, so toast to that tri-state real quick.
Let's go. Let's go. I
Big
still
up
have
to
my New
Jersey, big
Jersey
up to
phone
Philly,
number. Yeah. But I did Jersey, then I moved to Ohio. The retail marketing company brought me out to California. I did Portland, California, NorCal for a while. Then I moved to Portland. Then from Portland back to New Jersey, and then I left from New Jersey and found my home in SoCal, which this is my place. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay here a really long time.
I feel the same way. Now let's get back to Jamaica real quick.
Yes, sir.
So you said you just getting into cannabis with Corona? So, I mean, when you was back home, I mean, like, what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, back in the day, I mean, it's like, that's all people used to talk about was like that Jamaican fire.
Weed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone would go, it's funny. People ask me about three things. First one is, you listen to Bob Marley. Mm-hmm. Second thing is, what does bumper clock mean? And then, if you ever want to know, I'll give you the detailed explanation of that later. And then the third thing is, do you smoke?
Right.
And, I come from, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Weed is actually legal in Jamaica. It was
always
for a very long time.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I think they're now trying to make it medical and free up the laws and really starting to be smart and grow from it, because the stigma is there in a positive way. Yeah. But weed has always been illegal. Like, you could get locked up for smoking. If a cop is having a bad day, you could get locked up for smoking a spliff on the road or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But everybody smokes because, of course, it's natural weed, the music, everything. Yeah. But my particular household was, you go to school, you come home, and if you do drugs, you're bad, right? My dad, like many parents, right?
Yeah.
They associate weed with falling out of school or being a failure. So I was always scared to try it until, like, one day it wasn't until I was like 26. I was in Portland and I was managing Sacramento, the state of Sacramento, and the city of Sacramento and Portland at the same time. And, my chest is beating and I see my friend over there, him wake up, I'm at his house, he wakes up in the morning, bakes, then goes to work, comes home, bake, and he's happy as ever. And I'm like, bro, I'm stressed out. And he's like, here. And I'm just like, you know what?
Let me go ahead and,
let me try this one time, you know? And I never look back.
So the first experience right there, would you say like that was it? Like I was,
it was life-changing.
A lot of people, they might have a bad experience with their first experience and then come back to it like later on, and you know what I'm saying, like their first experience, like, nah, that ain't. I got too high, and then later on, they like I just heard stories like that. My first experience was like the first time I tried it, I was home. I love. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this.
Let's go. Luckily, my first experience was with a very experienced smoker.
Right.
That walked me through what was going to happen. And just like on this episode of your show, I think if people become more educated on how to use weed and apply it in different ways. I was stressed out, and he literally said, you know what? You need an indica. An indica to let you relax. Because you say your heart's hurting, your body,
Yeah.
And honestly, like doing that one day, and then looking at my work performance after, I was like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'm sold. I'm gonna figure out how to grow into this industry. Yeah.
So then you get into Grizzly Peak, and did you just like come in killing it and just work your way to buyer's manager, or like how did you get like to become the man that arms this platinum box right here?
The platinum box,
the
show box. I've always been interested in sales and marketing, and I had this wonderful dilemma in December, right? So Corona hit, I closed my marketing company down. I want to switch industries. No one's hiring, right?
Yeah.
And then I put my resume out, and then this magical week comes where there's 3 companies interviewing me to come into cannabis. And I'm like, first of all, fuck yeah, this is my dream.
Yeah.
Right? And I have 3 options. And the reason why Grizzly attracted me the most, they hit me with the fact that they were vertically integrated. They hit me with the fact that in about 3 years, they're looking to build a company so huge that, it may attract some really huge buyers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the most important thing that got me excited about it is the freedom aspect of it, right? Everyone in life is motivated by 4 F's: fame, family, fortune, or freedom, right? Yeah. And for me, the freedom to work in an industry that I love and be able to tell the story about marijuana, to be able to tell the story and the benefits and the effects of it, and knock out certain myths and help
just all the negative that people have about the plant.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. That got me excited, and I chose to work with Grizzly because it gave me creative freedom while giving me the chance to represent something I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have
and they got a dope logo too.
Yo, the logo fire.
Actually,
funny story. Grizzly Peak is actually a very famous smoking spot in the Oakland area.
No.
Where only like you gotta be from there. I heard it's beautiful. The kids go up there, the teenagers, right? Don't smoke if you're under 18.
Yeah.
But
the young adults.
The young adults, right?
Yeah.
It's a great smoking spot. You take your girl up there, you take your partner up there, you're gonna hike up there and just blaze. And it's the logo on the jar. This is the lookout in Oakland. So whenever you're ready, we'll fly you up there. We could probably do a show up there. Let me know, man. I'll take care of that.
Yeah, we love to be at the Grizzly Peak.
Bring
Paul up, man, for sure.
Let's go. Tour the facility and everything.
Yeah, it's toast to that.
Yes, sir.
So, benefits, you were talking about, the benefits. Let's talk about some of the benefits of the plant. There's a lot of people don't know any of the benefits of it, and like, shit, it gets me out. I'm fried, I'm high. They're not knowing that, you might be, helping this or fixing this or, soothing that.
Of course.
So, tell them about that.
So, as a dietitian, that's what I actually studied in school. And prior to that, where I get my nutrition knowledge is my dad's actually a farmer.
Okay.
Right? He's a top agronomist in Jamaica, second in command at the Ministry of Agriculture. I grew up on a farm and I hated it. I wanted to be a city boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my love for plants came from a young age and understanding how plants can affect you in a good way and a negative way, right?
Right.
And everything can be used for positive and a negative thing, right? With weed, let's say you're having a really terrible day, and no matter what, your boss piss you off. Paul tell you something you didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, Paul's a good dude.
I'm just kidding.
Paul on that, yeah.
But you have a bad day and you come home and what's your options, right? Sometimes you can watch a show, right? Sometimes you can do certain things, but for me,
I'm smoking.
Of course.
Grab
a sativa. Yeah. You grab a sativa, something that's gonna put that happy. You can drink if you want, but you can also do a sativa.
Right,
a sativa weed that's gonna actually put you in a much better mood, get you going again. I like to do it in the morning. That's my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Smoke in the morning and get a ton of shit done before 1 p.m. I get more shit done on a blunt, a sativa, than most people get done in a week. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So when you find out how to use it in that way to make you more efficient, to make you more effective, you don't just say, hey, let me just smoke something. You got to study what you smoke. Yeah. Right? You got to love it. And then once you use it and apply it in the right way, let's go.
Yeah. So, you lost 135 pounds.
I did.
Did the marijuana help that? Or let's get into that story real quick. Like, let's get into that, because it's like, people know that we the same size right now. Nobody's going to believe that. No. It was 135 pounds on this guy.
It was. Funny enough, I posted a throwback photo of me today. I thought I was still beautiful, even at 320 pounds. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? Right. But weight loss is something I struggled with my whole life. You know what I mean? When I was 14, I was overweight as well. I went on a huge weight loss journey, lost 80 pounds, and went back to school. Everything was great. Migrating to the United States, the diet's different. A burger costs $1, bro. Yeah, that don't make sense. A salad costs $9. Obviously.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I couldn't lose weight, no matter what. And, I worked out. Everybody knows me. I work out heavy. Big or small, I work out as much as I could. You know what I mean? Right. I was that fat boy that was still doing bicycle kicks on the soccer field, and people are like, how are you able to do that? I'm like, I'm fit, but I'm just struggling with my eating. And it got to a point where I had to make a really big decision for my life, and I had to get surgery, because no matter how much I worked out, I kept gaining weight.
Right.
Now, I got a gastric sleeve, and for me, I'm that analytical dude that I want to find out how many people died from the surgery. I want to find out how many complications there is. I want to find out how can this surgery either benefit me or mess me up. And I was scared. The first appointment, canceled it.
And what is a gastric sleeve?
Basically, they're going to remove 2/3 of your stomach.
Okay.
So you end up with a stomach the size of a banana. Restrict how much you can intake, right? And that's exactly, it took me like another 6-9 months before I made the decision to do it. And I remember doing it, bro, and I would drink like a cup of soup like this, be stuffed, like clear broth, like this stuff. I was just like, shit, this is awesome. I'm gonna lose a lot of weight, but this is not gonna feel good.
Yeah.
So every time I would eat something, even this clear broth of soup, my stomach would be like, I would be dying. So I'm just like, how do people fight the nausea with this surgery, right? And I found weed. I turned to weed. And due to the weed, the surgery went well, no complications. I got to the point where, I was able to balance the nausea because of the weed and still have a healthy diet. And I look at a lot of people that relapse after this surgery. They relapse because, or they even suffer more because they can't eat, right? The weed helps with the appetite suppression and with giving me an appetite to be able to control the nausea, to be able to eat. So without the weed, bro, I don't think I could have been be at this weight, maintain this weight, and even like be at the best. I'm 32, bro. I've never looked so good. I have a fucking 8-pack. Like, I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Real talk. Wow, that's man. I was listening to you. That's deep, bro. Like, congratulations, man. You went through a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good thing. So, using the plant to drive like a better work, you know, like as far as like working out, I guess, like getting energy. Oh, yeah. You know, like,
I mean,
I see a lot of people come in the shop, you know, and they'll get like CBD, not THC, but they'll get CBD and it's like might be labeled Energize. You know, like something like that, like something that's like giving them energy, you know, like to work out. You know,
I think one of the big differences that and I go back to that first initial point of education, right?
Right.
CBD works where you remove a lot of the psychoactive effects of weed, right?
Right, exactly.
The receptors in your brain, they bond differently to THC than CBD.
That means you're not getting high off the CBD,
right?
So, you know, a lot of people like just want some CBD. You're not getting high off it.
Not getting high, but what's getting high is relative,
right?
You know what I mean? Getting high is subjective to the person and how much their tolerance is, and based on how weed laws are and regulations, there's not enough scientists that are able to test it fully to give you actual, you know, concrete results. Every survey and report says different. But for me, I would rather have THC involved in my workout any day for the mere fact of the runner's high, right?
Runner's high.
Let's talk about the runner's high.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's a new term for me, runner's high. I don't think I heard that.
You like cardio?
Yeah.
What type of workout you do?
Treadmill. I hit the Stairmaster from time to time, but like other than that, and the bike.
The bike.
Yeah. The bike.
All right. Cool. So at what point on the treadmill, like typically how long do you stay on the treadmill?
15 20 minutes. Yeah.
Cool. So what I love about, so runner's high, you don't need to be high to do this, right? You can run for a little bit longer. But what I notice is that when I'm on the treadmill, I hit my runner's high way sooner than I normally do if I'm not smoking, right? So with the runner's high, that's when that powerful euphoria comes in.
Right.
There's those endorphins being released in your brain, that your body's not like, oh, I'm tired anymore. It's this, you get this euphoric feeling from working out. So you feel like you, instead of just working out for 50 minutes, right, which is the average amount of time, 15 to 20 minutes, the average amount of time you're supposed to do cardio, you end up being able to do cardio a lot easier for 40 minutes to 60 minutes because your body is hitting that runner's high earlier, so you want to stay on the treadmill longer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get on, you're like, shit, I want to get off. But with that runner's high coming earlier, you're experiencing that euphoria the entire run, and you just want it longer and longer. And then you take that into your gym workout now, where you're lifting weights now and you're heavy lifting, right?
Yeah.
You find that euphoria. For me, this year was the first year I was able to bench like 345 plates on each side.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And I'm in the gym and I'm got my headphones in and I'm like, why am I just like enjoying this workout so much? It's like, okay, cool. I can handle more. I can handle more. I can handle more. And where that comes from, for me, it comes from the effect of the weed. It comes from that THC helping you, you know, helping all the chemicals that you need to support your adventure at the gym, you know, because a lot of people go to the gym to get away, right? For me, the effects of weed and you in working out, it just makes you go longer, harder. There's a study done by I think George Berkeley from the University of Colorado. Okay. And he surveyed like I think like 1,000 people. 70% of them said that weed helped them work out longer in the gym than they normally would. Yeah. So I support it 1,000%.
Okay. And about the products infused with THC.
I mean, there's several ways to get weed into your system, right?
I mean, we're drinking a cannabis infused wine
we're drinking
right now.
We're drinking Rebel Coast. What is this?
It's a sparkling. Well, this one is sparkling. That one is not. So we're drinking just pretty much a cannabis infused wine.
Yup. And then you know, for people that don't like to smoke, for me, when I joined the marijuana journey, I wasn't really fully sold on smoking, so I wanted to do edibles. I wanted to do, you know, drinks. So this is great. I know there's like a pre-workout, a THC pre-workout that you can take, or CBD pre-workout, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But for me, I go traditional.
With the smoking. Yeah, I'm more traditional myself. Like I just got into dabbing not too long ago. Yeah. But I'm more traditional myself. So let's get back to the diet you were on. Like how did you maintain your diet as far as like eating and smoking? You said the weed gave you an appetite. So would you say without the weed you just
Without the weed, I can't eat. To be honest with you, you know, I get nauseated very easily. I have to eat like super slow, super small amounts. Before every meal, I like to maybe do like an indica, you know, to make sure my body's calm, cool, and ready to accept whatever is coming in. It really changed. And it kind of helps regulate it too, to be very honest with you.
So would you say, like, to prevent like you were saying, people relapse, would you suggest them, if not even like smoking, at least like maybe like going to a record, you know, just like trying out some just for like as a medicine, you know, if the doctors was prescribing them, writing a prescription for it, and they would go in the pharmacy, they would have no problem with it. But, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what would you tell them people that's thinking about, you know, taking the surgery, or that's, you know, listening now and it's just like that don't smoke at all?
Do your research. That would be my advice. You know, I've never been the type to like direct someone, like, because honestly, there's different results. But for me, I did my research on the surgery, and what made me feel comfortable about doing the surgery was the fact that I knew the weed would help. Because the biggest complaint I saw is nausea. And marijuana, THC, even some CBD, its main purpose is helping with nausea. Like patients that have cancer, patients that have epilepsy, like weed has so many benefits, right? Yeah. So when you do your research and you find out your benefits and how to, I mean, if you're sick, you're gonna take medicine. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what that's medicine. It's medicine.
This is straight medicine.
So now that you're in the field, and I remember you were saying, like, you know, from the household you grew up with, like your parents being like against like the plant. How are they taking it now that it's more of like career driven? You more like have knowledge about it. I see you scratching your head like they ain't still not buying it.
You know what? Your Caribbean parents are very interested. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're stuck in their ways. You can't really trade. Some of them are open to it. I mean, what I explain to my family is marijuana right now is like alcohol. Right? Yeah. When alcohol came out, you know, it was heavily, you know, fought by a lot of legislations and a lot of, you know, politicians. Alcohol was a bad thing. Now it's like one of the top grossing products in the entire world, right? Marijuana last year, sales grew by 75%, over $18 billion during a pandemic, bro. So when you think about where the industry's going, like there's over 312,000 people employed that were employed just last year in cannabis, right? The federal government's not gonna, you know, relay this information because they're still fighting, you know, laws and all these regulations against marijuana and weed. But the industry is booming.
Yeah, it is.
So for me, it's more about educating my parents and educating my family from a standpoint of watch my results from working with this company,
Yeah.
and see what they say in the near future.